Recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. While the U.S. is blessed with an abundance of energy resources, we are also saddled with an administration that is throwing up barriers to our energy security and economic prosperity. This is why, Mr. Chairman, I rise in strong support of H.R. 2231, the Offshore Energy and Jobs Act. It passed out of the subcommittee I chair on energy and mineral resources. The bill requires the President to implement a new 5-year plan that includes the areas offshore containing the greatest known oil and natural gas resources. This is a targeted approach that focuses on specific areas where we know the most energy resources are located. The bill requires lease sales to be held off of Virginia, which were originally scheduled to take place in 2011, and South Carolina. In both states, there is strong bipartisan support from the public, the congressional delegations, and the governors for drilling off their coasts. Finally, the bill implements important reforms to strengthen the safety, accountability, and efficiency of the federal government's offshore energy agencies. It establishes a fair revenue-sharing program for all coastal states. Both provisions would further encourage the safe, expanded production of offshore energy. Mr. Chairman, high gas prices hurt all of us, and the impacts are felt every day. Families are forced to make tough decisions in their budgets, schools run fewer buses, and the costs of businesses go up, forcing companies to hire fewer workers. But the concerns of America's energy consumers, the nation's small businesses, and families have largely been ignored by this administration. When President Obama took office, nearly all of the offshore areas were open to energy production. The administration had the tremendous opportunity for the first time in more than a generation to open new areas of the OCS for oil and gas drilling. Available to them for the first time since 1982 was the opportunity to access billions of barrels of oil that have been held closed under lock and key for decades. Instead of jumping on the opportunity to increase our energy security, President Obama discarded a plan to develop these new areas, canceled lease sales, and closed off 85% of our outer continental shelf. This crushed the hopes and economic opportunity for the people in states like Virginia. In fact, the Obama plan put forward the lowest number of lease sales since the Jimmy Carter administration. Nearly 1 year later, we are here again today to attempt to change the wrong course upon which this administration has set our nation and our energy future. Recently, the Energy Information Administration issued their report for energy production on federal lands for fiscal year 2012. It should be no surprise that the sale of crude on federal lands decreased 5% in 2012, with an 8% decrease in federal offshore volumes. While this administration seems content with the status quo, this legislation is about making the right choices now to foster new access and new energy for the future. H.R. 2231 makes it clear that waiting until 2017, waiting 5 more years, is too long for new energy production. Increased American energy production is one of the best ways to create new American jobs, strengthen the economy, and generate new revenue to help tackle the national debt. We cannot keep ignoring the vast resources potential of the U.S. Outer Continental Shelf. I applaud Chairman Hastings for his leadership on this issue, and I encourage all of my colleagues to support this critical legislation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.